What's up? I don't know how your week was, but man, mine was horrible. Guess it could be worse. I don't want to act too privileged here. We made it though, right? We made it. I guess. Then we have to go into another week. That's all I always think. Like, oh, the stress. Well, you know what, Kevin? No one cares. Yes, we do. I'm glad yours was good. I do miss chatting, Tobias. It's just I get stressed out and then I'm like, oh, I can't talk to anyone. Kind of sucks. That's one of my big things when I'm stressed out. Like I can't talk to people. And my mother's awful with that. That's when she calls and texts me the most. When I really am not having it right now. I'm trying to find royalty-free music for the stream for like when it's in the be right back side of the kind of mode. But everything I find I hate. I realize that you kids listen to or put that like lo-fi boom 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 stuff on and I can't do that. That's so not me and I need something that's me. What's me? I have no idea. I have to like go around and listen to stuff. No, I know like people like that music. Obviously it's everywhere and it's probably something that's easy to be made, so it's easy for people to make it and make it royalty free because it's like, oh, I just whip out my keyboard and a computer. And I sound like I'm old now. All these kids are doing getting keyboards and computers and making music. They call that music. But the thing I think too that irritates me is that when I go looking for stuff, and there's plenty, I know there's stuff free on YouTube and there's, I don't know where else. But anyway, so many of these websites are like, well, the music's free and royalty free, but you gotta pay us to get to the music, which defeats the purpose of me looking for free music. Why is he gonna hit me though? Is it that because I said I didn't like that music? Is that his favorite music? I know he does recommend a lot of that stuff. Oh, I'd love to have Nintendo come after me. That would really make my year. Because my year's not shitty already. But what, like, I mean, I guess the only video game music I really would put on here is, like, either ESO or SWOTR, but I don't know. SWOTR's not really that great. Some of it. Oh, yeah, ESO Tavern music. I have a playlist of ESO Tavern music. I just need to make sure it's all ESO stuff and not, like, other people threw stuff in. I could make my own playlist, too. Wouldn't that be a thing? It isn't lo-fi? Because that's what I don't want. No offense to anyone who listens to lo-fi. I get it. It's just I need me kind of stuff. I'm very like classical music for stuff like this or the music that I like to listen to. Are you offended? I'm sorry. Or the music that I like to listen to, which obviously I can't use because I would get in trouble for using, Nick Cave. Nick Cave would be like, "What? Don't be using my music." He's very offended. I'm pretty sure. It's hard to offend him, but I learned how to do it with his lo-fi. He's lo-fi offended. I didn't say what. I don't know. I did. You're lo-fi offended. You are lo-fi offended, though. That's what it was. In fact, I'm going to keep that and refer to you as that forever. Here comes lo-fi Tobias getting all lo-fi offended with everything. So I take it nobody except me has seen anything about the new Legacy of the Sith. I have a feeling. I'm the only one, and I haven't played through it because I don't want to until my character is actually through all the other stuff. Did you play through it? I didn't play through it. I heard it's really short. I don't really care. I mean, all the whiners kind of annoy me because it's like, then don't play the freaking game. But what do I know? I guess everybody has their preferences. I do. But I'm kind of excited to go through it. I just didn't get to yet. Yeah, because I didn't play through it because my character, that my main Sith is like not. She only just got to 70 and she's still in like the Arkan thing. Yeah, the expansion. I didn't play it yet. I've been reading people complaining, but yeah, I haven't either. I'm fine waiting because I like taking this character through. I'm so excited because I now understand so much more. And so when I'm going through the story, I know which decisions I want to make. I know how, like, it's just so much more to it now that I've grown in the game. I've grown. Meanwhile, everyone else has grown out of it, which is fine. I mean, I'm fine on my own. I just won't play with other players that I don't know because they are pretty nasty on that server. So, and I haven't touched ESO in a while because I've been obsessively going through stories in Star Wars. I'm interested in this expansion. Of course, I need to read some positive stuff about it. I was having trouble with ESO for a while there where I had to reinstall it. That's what I had to do. It just was messed up after one of the updates. But I haven't played in a while because I'm hooked on getting her through the Arkin story. And I'm sorry, Valkorian's supposed to be the story, but it's Arkin's story. And she's going to get Arkin as her companion because she deserves it. And then after she's done running around with Lana, because right now she's like totally into Lana, but she's eventually going to break up with her and have to go with Arkin, because that's just how it works. I love all the romance. I'm such a girl. I wish in ESO you could kind of connect them. I guess it works if... It kind of only works when you're RPGing with people. Can't really like, hey, get all flirty with other characters. Every now and then something seedy comes up in the dialogue and I'm like, I'm excited about this year's events. So far I haven't been that excited playing them, but I think they're going to get better. I don't know. Some of the stuff for the events is like hard when you don't have other people to play with. And like you can group up, obviously, but I'm not always comfortable with players I don't know. And I was going to try starting my own guild just to have my friends in there so we can kind of time things, but I haven't done it yet. I don't know what I'm doing. I barely know how to play the game, let alone run a guild. And Fortnite, I played that just so I could get through to have enough V-Bucks for the next season pass. But that's all I've done. I can't play that game for like longer than an hour because that's the only game I play that just pisses me off. Oh no. New DLC. There's a new DLC coming in ESO too. Not until June though. It's so fun for new DLCs. I mean, I realize you guys have been doing this longer than I have, but this kind of stuff's fun for me because it's like, oh, something different. Meanwhile, Sarah plays ESO like it's part of her diet. And I'm always like, oh, I never meet her up on there because she plays wrong times for me because work. I never play video games during work. I want that on record. The 22nd is this week, dude. Oh, that's pretty soon. Oh, that's like in 2 days. I thought it was the 19th all morning. So I just realized it's the 20th right before it came on. I was like, oh, wrong date. I'm ready for February to go away. As much as I love cold weather in the winter, I don't love this month very much because, I don't know, maybe it's just this month right now in the state of my life. I am going to miss the snow and the cold though. That's going to suck. I'm already dreading it, which is weird. Everybody else is getting excited. They're like, oh, spring, oh. And I'm like, oh God, anxiety, depression. I don't know why I don't like this February so much. I think it's just living here is so hard for me, so I don't get out like I want to. Yeah. Plus, I'm ready for Christmas again, so because I'm always ready for Christmas. I'm moving in, I would say about 6 weeks or so. Probably not till the end of March, early April, because I want to wait till I don't plan to move and then we get a snowstorm. I know. I've slowly started packing little things here by here. Little things. What's the term? Here by here. No, it's not here by here. How you say it in English? Little by little. Oh, I'm sorry. My English is really bad today. But my English is bad every day. But I started packing by slowly taking down my Christmas tree, which is funny because it's usually up all year. But now it's just a bare tree with lights. I still haven't brought myself to take those down. I'm getting there. But I think I'm packing some stuff that I don't really need or I use very often. And then I think little by little we're going to take it down because my my room that I rent at that house is empty now. So I'm going to clean it up and start putting stuff in it so that the day that we move the big stuff, we don't have to move a billion boxes, which is fine. I've always had a key to that house, so they were like, just use your key. Okay. This is my third time moving in with them. I always try to leave, but I always come back. It's also awkward though, because I lived with a married couple and they are now getting a divorce. So he's the only one that lives at the house now, besides two other people that rent rooms. So it's gonna be a little weird. I don't know. Awkward. But maybe not. I don't know. I'm friends with him and I'm friends with her, so it's not like uncomfortable. It's just weird because you're used to them. Yeah. I mean, the good thing is this house has always been full of nerds, right? Because they're nerds. They're tabletop nerds. They don't actually. That's the thing. They're still really good friends because I think they realized that after a couple of years of being married, they were like, we're really just great friends. And so they kind of, it's very amicable. So they're both like dating already and they talk to each other about it. So I'm glad that I don't have to deal with like, if I think if it were a nasty divorce, I probably wouldn't be able to live in that house because I didn't want to deal with that. But I don't want to say the best part, but I do want to say the best part about moving back there is that Kevin kept Magpie. So I get Magpie in my room again. So I'm very excited to live with her again. He kept the two dogs and Magpie, and then she took the other two cats. I know, I'm so excited. Magpie and I are going to hang out again. Last time I was down there, I went to see her, and she was all over me. She's She thinks she's the replacement for Freddy, but she's not. She likes to roam around on his stuff, and I know that the guy they had living there, between me living there, they had one other person there for a little while. He was not like, he wouldn't let her in his room. He would not like really spend time with her. I was just like, ugh, you shouldn't even let him in your house. I think if I were renting rooms to people, one of my big questions would be, do you love animals? If you do not love animals, leave now, because you can't come in here. I really am glad though, because I just went to brunch with Kat the other day, since they got separated. So, and everything's so normal. They don't seem weird, which is great. And so that's why Kat and I are going to New York in a couple weeks, because I need to get out of Pittsburgh. I freaking hate it here and I need to get out. I have not traveled in almost 3 years and it's killing me. So, going to New York, and Kat's going with me because she needs to get out for a bit. I need to get out for a bit, even if it's just a weekend, you know.
Oh, here we go! Yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't know. It's weird when friends get divorced, but it's kind of cool that they're such nerds, you know? They're not normal people. And it's kind of, I mean, I probably shouldn't talk about personal stuff. So anyway, it just seems like it's going well and I like it. And it's nice because I'll be back in the nerd house. Now it reminds me because I'm watching All of Us Are Dead, which is a Korean zombie series on Netflix. And I don't know if anyone else has watched it. I don't like zombies. I'm bored with the zombie genre, but I do appreciate a different take on zombies. And this is one. It's definitely different. And I really like it. I like the story. It's just really good. I just finished it last night and I really liked it. And this is me being chaotic because I jump from topic to topic. That's how it is. So if you're going to watch me, you're going to have to deal with chaos because that's what I do. That's the thing I'm good at, chaos. Oh, and because I had to push Norway to next year because Trump messed up my taxes, because I had to push Norway back, I have to push Belgium and Germany back. This sucks because I had everything planned out. So now I gotta push it back. You guys will probably see me when I'm 60. Wouldn't that be weird and awkward for you? I mean, it's bad enough you have to see me at this age. You're gonna see me when I'm like 60. You're gonna be like, what? I was trying to think, like, since I can't go to Norway, the biggest problem with going to Norway is the airfare. The airfare is really. Also, Norway's an expensive place. But the rentals that we were looking at aren't bad. Like, especially when you're splitting it with four other people. I think it's four. Yeah, so there's five of us. But I can't get my airfare together because the airfare is like $1,100, $1,200. It's expensive. So I was kind of banking on my income tax return or refund, and because of Trump, I'm not getting one. Yep, so it's pushed to next year. And then I can. It sucks because it's like I had things planned out, and I realize things don't always go the way you plan them. I don't need more people to tell me that. I'm aware of that. I'm old enough to know that happens. But I don't know. It's when something that you've planned for years and years, and it never seems to work out. This is the third time I'm postponing this, and it's just really annoying. The only thing I'm getting to do is New York. I might try to go to Scotland for Christmas or for the holidays, because at least with Scotland it's just the airfare. I have two different places to stay. So I can go there easily, just get together the airfare, which isn't, $1,200. So the only thing I can do is start working on getting the trip for Norway together for next year. I'm trying to be positive because I said before, because of Trump, I owe money. I owe the government money. I don't make money. I hardly make any money, but I owe the government money. How much money do you think the billionaires are sending in? Nothing. And that's okay with them. So anyway, let's not think about that. I actually had something I wanted to ask, and I know that pretty much Tobias and periodically Sparky is here. So I'm sorry. I can't get used to it. I'm trying so hard. Anyway, I was thinking about this. I know there are this group of women that are in their like late 70s, early 80s who game, right? I've watched them do Twitch streams, and I follow two of them on Twitter. I think because they make me feel young. Is there like a huge difference in dealing with like different age groups in gaming? Like, do you think there is? So like, I don't know how to put it, but is there some sort of like, is there ever an age group you don't want to play with? Because I mean, I don't want to generalize everybody. I realize because I'm definitely don't act my age or what people expect. But I'm trying to think like, yeah, I think that's why Fortnite makes me angry and I can only play it for an hour. Because there's so many kids on there that I'm just like. I think though with the games that I do play, I find a lot of people who aren't that young. Although I gotta tell you, Swoder has pulled in a lot of new people thanks to the friggin' Mandalorian and Boba Fett. And also, the good thing about that is they got sweet Mandalorian gear now. And of course my dude's wearing it. But I feel like, as somebody who's probably not the most common age for female presenting people for gaming, I think I find I wouldn't want to play with people my age just because I usually don't like people my age. But I think like when I started playing these games on PC and like I got to know you guys and other people that are, basically be my kids, I think that age range works for me. Although I'm sure I could meet other people that are younger again, but definitely not 18 and under. But I do think the games that I play, are there certain games that attract, like Fortnite, but certain games that are younger people, like 18 and under, really play RPG, or do they more play like, I just don't know where they are. And I never open my chat in Fortnite because I don't really want to chat with little kids. That makes sense, I guess. Yeah, I can see that because that's probably who they market a lot of those types of things to, is like younger people. Oh. Yeah, that also makes sense because you got to figure They aren't gonna have a lot of their own. If I had a kid, would I let them play these things? I guess I'd have to, or I'd be a total hypocrite. I mean, I know Sarah's son plays a bunch of different games. You know what game I find really odd and I can't figure it out? Yeah, that's what I figured. Like, I know he plays Fortnite, but one of the games I saw, like, I think they're like distant cousins that live near my mom. These are kids. They're like, I don't know, 11, 12, 13, maybe. I don't know how old they are, but they're young. And they play this Roblox thing that blows my mind because when I look at it, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't get it. And I don't know if it's because I've never played games like, I don't even know what it is. What is it? It's just weird. I looked at it and I was like, what are you guys even doing in this game? I mean, I'm sure that I don't understand a lot of games, but that game is so freaking does not make any sense to me. Not that it's bad for them to play it, but oh, yeah, that's too complicated for me. I can't even deal with the sandboxes I have to play around in at work. Every time they develop a new site or a new whatever, it's like, here, play around in the sandbox. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing at my work, let alone in that game. It's just, and I see now, it must be really popular at this point because I see gift cards for it a lot when I'm at the store. I only like farming in the games I play, even though I suck at it. Battlefield replicas. Are there any Vietnam games I can play? I have this bizarre fascination with Vietnam War. And I think I've run out of films. They're probably mostly all like FPS. I think they probably would be. Yeah, I figured they are. That kind of stuff usually seems like it is because it's war based. Everybody I know is playing this new Call of Duty. You know, I never liked Call of Duty because I don't know. It was one of the first games I ever played. No, it's not true. I'm lying. I'm totally lying. The first game I ever played on PlayStation was the Spice Girls game. It was totally a Spice Girl game. Oh my god. And then I also played Jeopardy. I just would not play anything challenging, to be honest. But the Spice Girls game was fun. I got to make music videos and like watch them and get excited about them. But I definitely, that's pretty much most of what I've ever played on PlayStation. I've hardly ever played PlayStation. And I've never actually played an Xbox console ever. Like I totally went from the games that I'd played on like the regular like old Nintendo and whatever the other one was. But and then switched to this like because like when I met you guys and y'all talked about this PC gaming and I was like, what is this? I want to do it too. And then I started doing it and harassed all of you because I was confused and you were all like, oh, here she goes again. She doesn't know what she's doing. Yeah. I don't know. I think after those honestly discovering PC gaming changed everything and I no longer cared about consoles. Like I no longer like one of my friends at work, he pretty much plays strictly on console and he's always talking about them. I'm like, dude, and saying we should play this or we should play that. I'm like, I'm on PC, dude. I'm the cooler person in this office. You guys are a bunch of losers. No, I don't really tell them they're losers. I just go, pfft. When you start PC gaming, give me a call. We can do a West Side Story thing where PC against console players and we can snap and sing songs and then have big gang fights. That was like totally old person reference. Oh yeah, that's what I need to tell them. Cause it is, you know. And like there are games that I have friends who play consoles that I'd love to play with them, but I'm like you guys aren't. I can't. I'm never coming back to anything like a console. I mean, honestly, Now that I have this system, which obviously is not the greatest system, but also way better than like the cheapest system, but obviously I can't afford the system. I'm going to be making payments on it for a couple of years. But thankfully my mom had like this Dell credit and I could use it. In fact, I used it again so I could buy an actual DVD CD player to plug into this when I move. Because I don't have one. I don't buy CDs. So, but I don't buy DVDs. I don't watch anything. I use digital everything. But I realized that there are CDs and albums out there by people that I really, really like that they didn't put on Spotify, so I can't get to that music anymore because I no longer have their CDs. So I bought one with my mom's credit. Did I ask her? No. I mean, she gave me the whole access, so that's just gonna be how it is. And I pay everything on time. I'm never gonna mess that up because it's in her name. So, yeah, everything's on credit. Even I got a tablet too, that's payments, but I didn't get that through my mom's credit. I actually. And I needed a bigger tablet because they have those little ones, they're awful. I needed a bigger one so I could play my coloring game. Honestly, that's why I got it. But it also has a little, pen thing. And I get to like write things and color things. And I imagine books will be easier to read on that. So clearly I look like I have a little bit of money because I have way too many digital things sitting around. But I only have one monitor right now. The only other one I have here is my laptop. But right now I don't feel like I can fit another monitor because this one's big. Because when I see people's gaming setups, I often think like, I don't think I game enough to put my efforts into like some kind of massive gaming system. I mean, some of them look amazing, and I'm like, I feel like you have to be dedicated. Yeah, I know. Like, I had my gaming laptop, which when I got this system, it's mind blowing. Like, the difference between my little laptop and this. Like, I remember the first time I opened up a game on this freaking monitor, and I was like, well, dude, you need one. And I still haven't watched that show on Netflix. It's on my list, but that's the thing too about this monitor is it's easier for me to like put shows on that I want to watch and music and stuff, and I can watch a lot of things that I like to just chill out with. I hate my chair, but I can't really afford a new one. But I mean, this monitor's worth it. It's easier to like chat with people, go on Discord because I can see what I'm doing. My laptop was awful. It was so tiny. And now that I've seen this thing, I'm like, I'm never going to be able to get a smaller. Although, here's the deal. If I can get out of the United States somehow and not have to live here anymore, I'm willing to give this up and go back to a gaming laptop. Yeah, that's this one. Like, I can't get comfortable in it anymore. Like, it's not an expensive one. It's kind of a crappy one, but I can't afford a new one or a really good one. And I kind of want a new bed because that's probably more important. So I'm probably going to do a new bed before I do a new chair. And I did plan to not worry about the chair or the bed so I could go to Norway. But now that I'm not going to Norway, I'm just going to get a new bed. Because I really need one. But, yeah. I was putting all of my money into that. Yeah, this one was like... Kat and Kevin bought this for me for my birthday. And I think they paid like only $160, which is not a lot for a gaming chair. It's definitely very low end. But I needed a chair because all I had was like a chair for like a table. And it was just really bad. So this was okay for a while, but it's gotten to the point where it just hurts my back and my arms. It's hard. Well, that's the thing though. If I had a nice armchair, I'd probably be more comfortable in that. But the thing is, like, my chair at work is more comfortable than this one. But my chair at work is like a $500 chair, which I'm surprised they bought from me, but they did. I wish I could just bring it home and use that instead. It's very difficult to leave the US to work somewhere else. In order to leave the US to work, you kind of need to have a skill that is hard for them to get. Because if they can fill, like say I was going to Sweden, if they can fill their positions with Swedish people, they don't have to deal with all of the process that it takes to bring in somebody from overseas. That's why like you can easily, if you have a good so like if you have a some sort of thing in like an academic area, you'll easily see people that work in academia be able to do jobs elsewhere. But my job in academia is not something that they're desperate for. So that's hard because you got to get sponsored by whoever's going to hire you. And the only other way that's kind of easy is getting married, which has always been the easy way to do it. And there's no way in hell I'm ever getting married. So I just, or I guess if someone adopted me, but that's kind of weird at my age, adopting me. Although I'm not opposed to it. If anyone wants to adopt me and move me to Europe somewhere, then that's what I mean. Like, or like when I look at where I work, Carnegie Mellon, like the professors that work throughout the university, there's so many from all these different places. And it's because they have a specialty that they can teach or they're really good at it. So the university doesn't mind going through the process of bringing them in. The library, on the other hand, like you have to be like a PhD specializing in something. I just have a master's degree. I don't want to change my name. I've just changed it twice. No, I don't. Oh my god, that is so not a me name. I would change my name to Goblin before I would change it to that. I have a master's degree and I'm still considered not good enough at my library, but this is how academia works in the US. They want PhDs, even if the PhDs aren't librarians, they give them the title of librarian, and I don't get the title of a librarian because I don't have a PhD. Which doesn't make sense because in other places they would call me a librarian. Like a public library would call me a librarian. But academic libraries, they love their PhDs and they respect them more. So I'm kind of stuck in this crap. I wish my university had a Swedish branch or German or I don't care, anywhere but here. That's not true because we do have a campus in Qatar. And there's always an opportunity to go there and work, and you have to stay for 2 years. I am not going there to work. And they also have a campus in Rwanda, which I would consider if it wasn't so hot. No, they will call me a metadata specialist, and they would never make me faculty. I will always be staff to them. They really don't respect master's degrees at that university for sure. It's all about your PhD. If you want to be called a librarian, but I refer to myself as a librarian because I am a librarian. I went to school to be a librarian. My degree says I'm a librarian. So when someone asks what I do, I say I'm a metadata librarian because that's what I am. Just because the place I work doesn't call me that doesn't mean I'm not that. Isn't it awful? My identity, not only in the real world, but at work, is not just ever who I am. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. I'm so over it. I just feel like it feels so awkward because I went to school and worked my ass off, and it's like, oh, what the hell? We don't need you. You're not real. I don't know. It's such a crappy job. All I want is my raise at this point and to move to another country. I mean, it's so bad here that even Tara wants to leave the country. And she always was like, I don't feel like it. She still wants to leave the country now. It's freaking hilarious. Yeah, I can do... I actually am slowly starting to work with research data. I haven't been working on it because we do have a research data librarian who obviously has a PhD because they call her a librarian. And they don't... Oh, that's the other thing. Our PhD librarians don't have library degrees, so when they do get their jobs in our library, those of us who actually are librarians have to train them how to work in a library. So awful. But yeah, I'm slowly starting to learn how to work with research data. I haven't, because we've been so obsessed with our new migrating to our new system that I've been only working with archival collections. But yeah, I can do all kinds of metadata. I'm currently working on some robot metadata for a robot collection, which is funny because I really don't care about CMU's robots. Oh, Tobias, I needed to tell you, my hotel in New York has a robot that takes your luggage and stores it for you and then gives it back to you when you need it. Like if you come early or whatever, or you're going somewhere. It's a robot in my hotel. I don't want to. No, you can't use leader. Not a leader. And no, not master. Not leader. That sounds like you're a dictator or something. You could be a supervisor or somebody like that. I want a Roomba. Tobias, I want a Roomba so bad. They're expensive. At least here. I do like my vacuum cleaner though. It's like not a super expensive one, but it's better than like the crappy one I used to have. And it's got so much great suction that you can let it go and it moves itself across the carpet. Do it, Tobias. Do it, do it. I want YouTube videos of that. Put a gun on it. Oh my god, that would be so freaking hilarious. Probably not actually hilarious, but Project Supreme? Why don't you just go by Emperor or Chancellor? Call yourself Emperor. Yes. Be the Supreme Chancellor and call your lab the Senate. Oh my god. That'd be the nerdiest lab, honestly. Star Wars Nerd Lab. Oh, I know. I mean, labs are like nerdy places. I mean, you can't really have science without nerds. I mean, you can't have any of that because it's a nerd thing. And now that they're putting that whole system into the building that I work in, they cleaned everything else out except for our office. And we thought we were moving, so our lab we thought was going somewhere else, but it turns out we're staying there, and then they're building that whole world's first research cloud where people can do remote research, which an experiment, which sounds fancy and nice. But one of the things I have that I'm worried about is they said there are going to be chemicals there. And I want to know how much exposure I'm going to have to these chemicals because I have a feeling not really any. Both, Tintin, geeks and nerds. I don't think I'm a nerd, but I guess I am. Geeks and nerds. Do you know what a geek is? Or like what it used to be? It hasn't always been thought of as a, person who does nerdy things or gets obsessed with weird science things. I mean, you're a geek and a nerd, but originally geeks were circus freaks. That they Yeah, they were geeks. That's what they originally were. Well, the thing about the chemicals is I'm kind of getting a feeling we won't be near them. I feel like that whole research end of it will be blocked off from us. I don't think they would have us have access to it. So I feel like maybe, but my other concern with having those chemicals there is what if there's a fire? Like, is that whole place going to go up, including our lab? Like, I don't know what kind of chemicals, so it's weird because the other part of our building that they recently moved out was testing petroleum like chemicals, which I figured if that blew up, we're all dead. Yeah, I think that's what it is. And then I want to know what they mean by life science stuff is going to be there so people can do their research and experiments on life science stuff. Like that, what is that? What would they have there that they would use for that? Like the chemicals, I get it. But what about life sciences? Like what would be there that people would experiment? I don't want any viruses or those things in there with me. Yeah, I think it won't be a lot. Because I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see how it works and how many people use it. Because it's the world's first, I guess they're going to kind of figure it out. So it might be some time before it's fully functioning. But like I said, my biggest concern with this is that we get better vending machines now that we're having a fancy thing. Because if those people are going to be working in the offices above our lab, I assume because they're putting $40 million into this whole thing. There's $40 million. Then those fancy people are going to be working upstairs. They should at least put their steps are right near the vending machine, so they could put fancy vending machines in, and I'd be happy with that because they don't have anything to do with us. It's just an area where people will be able to do experiments from a distance or from home. They won't have to come into a lab. They can actually do the experiments with the stuff that is stored in the cloud, which I'm still confused about, probably because I don't do experiments. I have no idea how you would store things to do experiments in a cloud, especially if they're physical things like chemicals or whatever they use for life sciences, which I assume would be cells and dead animal parts. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, for me, as long as they aren't going to have animals in there that they would test on, which I think is more like biochem, although it could be life sciences. I have no idea, but I am so not a fan of vivisection, so I would not be able to deal with that. I mean, considering I have no idea what these people do. I mean, our university is a huge robotics university and computer engineering and medical engineering. That's what they do the most. So that's the kind of technology we deal with when we're dealing with metadata. And the archives and the archival collections that I work with are all based in science, math, robots. Yeah, I mean, tons of robots. I mean, there are buildings that you go in and they have robot receptionists. So it's weird. I mean, we don't have robotic stuff in our library, although they do want some kind of machine learning type stuff eventually. So many robots, so little time, kids. I don't like our robots. They don't do anything fun. I mean, they're very much things that don't do things that I'm not interested in. If they'd made robots that did fun stuff, I'd be into it. I mean, it would be cool to have a robot in like archivist who would like move collections around because some of those boxes are really heavy. So when I have to work with their metadata, a lot of times I have their stuff in front of me, but I'm not handling the robot archives. That they have special archivists who are dealing with the robots. They have robotics archivists. Although I prefer to just call them the robot people, but they're not actually robots. They're actual people who handle robots. It's definitely weird because a lot of the people I work with really love that we get to deal with this stuff, but I don't have, like, it's not fun stuff. I would really like to do metadata for things I'm interested in, but that hasn't come around. We do have we have a college within the university that is focused on entertainment technology. So they build some video games. They're very involved with Disney. They've done a lot of the special effects stuff with Disney and Star Wars and Marvel. So when you go to their college, it's filled with like giant life-size things that like Batman, and the Hulk is in the front lobby standing behind like the couch where you wait. And there's like all the Star Wars characters are like there life size. It's fun to go in there, but there's no work for me there. I did work with them a little bit, but it was boring. It was like how to rearrange their library, which I wanted to rearrange all the giant toys. That would have been fun. They have a life-size Yoda, life-size R2, life-size C-3PO, but no Mandalorians that I know of. But I haven't been there in a while. Perhaps they put them there. I don't know what they do. I do have a friend that actually works with those people. Like she became like the entertainment technology librarian. So that's kind of cool, but it's not my job, so it's kind of a bummer. I would rather do that than work with math. Because there are collections I have to work that are boxes full of math. And I'm a librarian. I don't do math. I organize things. And the robots that we're working with are pieces of robots. I don't think we have any that are actually functioning right now. But they're making like a collection of images and parts that they're going to put in this collection. And people can go in and look at them if they need to study them. Or just look at them, but they're not really fun. So I don't really, unless you're studying some kind of robotics, going in there and looking at them, you'd be like, what is this nuts and bolts thing just laying here? Not that exciting, I swear. We're working with robotics right now, but I gotta tell you, it's infuriating because the people handling it are not fun and not very nice. I mean, at least it's a different thing. It's better than the stuff I was doing. I want to deal with some of the cool stuff. Our professors don't do a lot of very exciting things to me. You might like it just because it's technology stuff. And I mean, yeah, that system that's coming in too is a $40 million system to improve technology, and I guess that's amazing. It just doesn't truly benefit me. And like I said, I just ask for new vending machines. But now that they're there, though, like the library and the university will respect that space, which means they'll probably pay way more attention to our space, which they don't do now. We don't get a lot of great maintenance, and we don't get shuttles to the campus, and now they will, which is kind of cool because I'll feel a little bit fancy. It's hard to work at a university like Carnegie Mellon and not feel fancy, but I don't because we're not the fancy people. We're just librarians. So, before I leave here, we got like, well, Tobias, I know I always say this, and I know you're probably like, yeah, right. But we definitely have to chat at some point. It's just been so crappy. And you know I sent you my whining on Discord. I really want to work on my Discord. I want to figure it out and make it better. I'm so bad at this stuff, right? Like, I'm surprised any of you tolerated me. You guys are very patient, because I have definitely not been the easiest person to... I ask a lot of questions. Just me. I ask a lot of questions everywhere, even at work. And I'm sure at work they're like, why is she asking us all this stuff? Is she an idiot? Which is exactly what they're like there. And that's another reason I don't like to group up in games, is because if I don't know something, I ask people. Well, not in ESO, but SWOTR, forget it. They're never very friendly when you're trying to find something out. I know that. I know. But the thing is, like, when I have, like, a bad week or I'm stressed out, I, like, pull away from people. Like, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to talk to anybody right now. So then it's like, oh, well. And obviously, if I'm not coming to chat, it's because I'm really having some really bad times. And it just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like I'm just, ugh, I just don't want to talk to anybody. And I wish I did that. I did want to talk more, but this is what happens. Like this week, however many times I was like, I should contact Tobias, and it just didn't happen. Work has been making me work, and real life has been making me sad. So not a whole lot of wanting to chat. It's been bad. I mean, it's like I don't even talk to them here at the house, like housemates. I don't talk to them very often. I mean, I do see them all the time, but the most talking I do is like, hey guys, can you give me a ride to the store? But not a lot of like, let's sit down and have a chat. Also, we don't have a whole lot in common. It's really weird. Their stuff is weird. The stuff they like is weird. They make fun of me because, did you see my Grogu? I got Valentine's this year. and they're totally nerdy Valentines. Total fangirl Valentines, which is hard for me to admit. I hate being thought of as a fangirl. But my Valentines were totally fangirl. And one of them I really want to carry around with me when I go to the store and stuff, because I feel like he could hold on to my money and my grocery list and my phone and my keys and look cute doing it. But I was told that some people won't ever go to a store with me if I do that. Oh, I see that. Advanced manipulation. Well, that's lo-fi mean. What is it even about? What is that game about? Sounds scary. Space game. Did you show me that game once? I think you might have. I think you might have streamed it on Discord and showed it to me. Yeah, I think so. Isn't that the one there's like, you can stay within that kind of universe and then go out and you travel and it takes forever and you discover different areas? Yep, that's what I thought. Wow, I don't know. This one game that Kevin's been playing, not Kevin, this Kevin. Not Sparky Kevin. Kevin. The one game he's been playing involves like, he showed it to me. He was so excited to show me. He's like, you should try this. Oh my god. It is insanely tedious to me. It's like these, it looks weird, first of all, and it's like, I don't know if these mining for things, and they're stuck in little squares, and you gotta get different things for them so they can survive, and that looks too tedious for me. I can't be that. I know I'm a metadata person, like a metadata librarian, and I should be okay with little details. But when I'm not working, that is not what I want to do. No way. Definitely not a metadata librarian. Sorry. I don't know either. I don't know how to explain it. I forget what it's called, but it just involved a lot of keeping something alive, having to provide oxygen, having to provide water to these little things. Like the game looks like things are, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out and tell you. I have no idea what it means. None whatsoever. I should not try to remember things like that. I don't even know what kind of game it would be considered. Like, what genre of game. Like, I just know it doesn't look like anything I would really play. I did get a new tabletop game that I have not been able to play yet because I never get to play them. Yeah, I'm gonna do that because I can't remember what it is. This new tabletop game I got, I really don't have a ton of tabletop gaming friends around here. I think my old housemates were the only ones I really could get together with to play. Sometimes their friends would come and play. So I'm going to have to get some people to come and play. But I'm so excited about it because it takes place in a forest. And there's little animals. And they have little animal communities. You know, this is such a me goblin game, you know. So I'm excited to play it. Other people might not be. I think it does have the ability that you can play it a solo player. But I mean, where's the fun in that? That might be. What am I saying? I'm a solo player for everything. Yeah, I'm going to ask him when I talk to him next. I constantly bother him about moving back in because, I mean, I know I have a key and he's always like, just come in whenever. And it's like, I don't just walk in someone's living room, show up. I mean, what if he's busy painting minis and I scare him and he knocks newly painted minis over and he has to do it all over again, or one of the dogs eats it? You know, I can think of a million scary situations. He's also got like, and this will be fun when I'm living there because he got a 3D printer and he's 3D printing and he's printing minis, and like he started his own little company for printing them for people. And he was supposed to, over the holidays, print Revan out for me, a Revan mini. He never did. I'm going to have to remind him I want that mini. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm pretty sure I could paint one of those things, but maybe I'll try and then he'll look like a train wreck. And then he'll just be at least entertaining Revan to look at. Because I know I'm probably not going to be the best person to paint a mini. I could give it to my mom. She'd probably be good at it because that's what she is. Mom artist. I opened my Gmail and I hardly ever check my email, my personal emails. I opened it up and I have 743 messages. I really, really should get to that and clean it out. I can't even imagine. They're probably all spam. I know, right? I just don't check it very often because I'm trying to transition most of my mail to my new name email. That's what I use for like business type stuff or like booking travel. But then I use this She Is Anarchy mail for just like random things. And it turns out to be mostly spam. And I'm trying to start using the Mookerimungeri email more for things like Twitter and Discord and all those. But I have not transitioned everything over, so I sometimes just don't check certain ones. And 743 emails, I bet you 600 of them are spam. Because that's what I get. Oh, I'm going to shit talk something before I go. So, my recent fascination has been with those meal kit services where, you know, they send you all the stuff to make certain meals. And those things pretty expensive for like one person. And you tend to get like way more food than you need. But it does work out sometimes. You can make multiple meals out of them. But I look for discounts on starting one up. And I just go from one to the other. Like I use a discount, get the first box, cancel, and then I go to another one with a discount. Recently I went to one called Every Plate, and you know, I ordered my first box. It was only like $20. They took the money, and I never got the box with the food in it or the recipes or anything. So I called them, like, I didn't get the box. The guy checked it. He's like, oh yeah, there was a problem with delivery. And I'm like, okay, so they couldn't deliver it supposedly. I don't know why. And he was like, well, I'll refund your money. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm glad he suggested it because sometimes you have to kind of force it. But then, like, 2 days later, the box with the food in it shows up. So I'm like, maybe they sent me another one, but at least it's free basically because I got my money back. But I opened the box up and it clearly must have been sitting somewhere for a couple days because part of the meals that I ordered had chicken in them and the packets with the chicken in were all bad. Nothing was cold because it sat somewhere. And I mean, it was just the worst experience I had with a meal delivery service. I really, I'm so bothered by the fact that they just didn't, there was no care involved. The other ones that I tried, like if I went to the full price of this service, it would be like $50 a week. Who's going to pay that for this kind of crappy stuff? Like you're going to let stuff rot? Some of the other services that I tried with like a huge discount were really good. But once my discount's up, I'd be paying $60, $70 a week. I don't have that. So but it's fun because you get these random boxes of meals and try new recipes. But I'm taking a break from them for now because after that last experience, just buy my food at the grocery store. Also, I recently made this Chinese delicacy noodle thing. And they called it the durian of Chinese food. And it's a noodle soup where the broth is this river snail broth. And I thought I needed to try this. And I actually liked it, and I wasn't repulsed by the smell, but some people won't eat it because they claim it's the worst smelling noodles they ever had. I liked it. I made it. Never thought I'd want to eat river snails, but I didn't eat the actual snails. It was just the broth. So that was interesting. Oh, see, I order some stuff from Amazon too. I get a lot of my oatmeal and my oat flour and different spices and seasoning from Amazon, even though so many people around me don't like Amazon. I'm sorry, I don't make enough to go buy fancy stuff, so Amazon it is. So yeah, I get a lot of stuff there. I just can't get anything like there's certain things I couldn't buy there. Like my oat milk is definitely I can't get it there. So I don't even buy a lot of food because I'm so basic at this point because it's just me, right? And then I just need whatever I'm going to eat while I'm gaming. Because sometimes I have to combine the two, which I think is irresponsible of me, but at the same time, if I don't combine the two, then I won't be able to eat or I won't be able to game, which makes no sense to other people. But that's just how I feel. I feel like I should eat separately from gaming, but at the same time, when? I don't know how other people, like I've seen people who are gaming who just are like, oh, I gotta take a break and go eat. And I'm like, I can't because I'm not gonna get to come back if I do that. And with that, I'm gonna end this for today because I do need to go to the grocery store and my ride is leaving soon and I don't want to miss it. But thanks for showing up early even, which is great. Oh, I'm sure I'll have fun at the grocery store. I do dance in the grocery store. I mean, why do they play music if they don't want you to? And yeah, and I swear to Vice, I'm so sorry that I seem like I just don't come to you and you probably think I just don't want to talk to you, but that's not true. I'm really also bad at the two-way thing because I try to keep up with it, but honestly, work has had me so frustrated and busy and then all the stuff that just went wrong every time I plan to get my shit together, something happens. And it sucks because I really want to be more involved in two-way and want to be more involved in doing my own stream at some point, but I just feel like the universe is working against me. But anyway, I'm going to go for now. Be back next week and hopefully my screen looks a little better and I sort out whatever the hell I did wrong. And yeah. So have a good rest of your weekend. Have a good week. Try to. And I will talk to you very soon. Bye.